What up, YouTube? I got another knife first look for you today. What you see in front of you is the Kershaw Swerve, and this one's different than what the normal one you can get because it comes in this I guess a limited edition 2014 package that's exclusively made for one of your big box stores, so it's not something that Kershaw regularly produces. And by the 2013 limited edition version of this package, I don't think they will be making it anytime in the future. It's kind of a limited type of deal here. But here you go, you got the Swerve. It comes in your little package, 3-piece limited edition set. Comes with another knife, which is the Free Fall, and it comes with this light over there where you can see the Free Fall back there in the background. So basically we'll run through a couple specs here real quick. The overall length of this knife right here is 7 1/4 inches, blade length being 3 inches. On the Kershaw's normal offering, or the normal production knife, they use an HCR 13 MOV, but on this limited edition pack they use the 3CR 13, I believe it is. I'm not yeah, 3CR 13 MOV on there. So the differences are, from what I've seen, is the lack of edge retention on here. So it's you know, when you're dealing with low-end knives or the low price points in knives, you're gonna find your 440Cs, your HCR 13 MOV, your AUS 8s, etc. or whatever. With this one, they actually went with the 3CR MOV, which is a little bit lower on the totem pole, and just because of edge retention, it's a softer steel, so you're gonna be sharpening a lot more. But for the price of the pack, I think it's like 20 bucks for this. It's not a bad deal. This knife retails for the normal version, I think it's $25, and I was able to get that knife there and the flashlight. Actually, it was gifted to me, but it's $20. So you save a lot of money in there. So let's take another look at it. Same thing as the normal offering with the glass-filled staggered K design on their handles there. It's got, similar to what they offer in their normal, is that notched out back spacer. Pocket clip is a deep ride, tip up, left or right hand carry on that. No changes there. One big difference besides the blade steel is that the jimping on the top of this blade is different than the normal production stonewashed version, where it's got a staggered filework looking jimping here so that ties in with the back spacer. This has your regular plain Jane jimping. It's not bad. It's a little mild, but not bad. So like I said, 7 1/4 inches, 3-inch blade length. We're using the 3CR 13 MOV on this. It's a drop point, flat grind. It's got a little bit of a swedge right there, as you can see with the light. A really cool finish on the blade. I don't know what type of finish they use on this. The information on this is very limited, besides what they have in the clamshell pack and what I was able to get from the normal description of the stonewash version. So 3850 BLK is the model number on that. As you can see, it's pretty cool. Fit and finish on it is exactly what you would expect for a sub $30 knife. It's not bad, but it's not the greatest. You can sit here and pick apart little things, but it's not bad at all. The ergonomics on this, if you have a smaller hand, then I imagine they'd work perfect, maybe a little better than my hands are. I consider I have medium-sized hands, and as you can see, my thumb fits there good, you know, well thought out right there. Thumb goes there, good purchase around the other side. As I go to put my hand around this and I start to get a good strong purchase, this flipper is burning me up like crazy on my pointer finger. It's crazy. Now if I rock my grip back like this and actually have my pointer finger engage this corner at this angle, then I don't feel it at all. But then again, now I have my pinky hanging off the back of it and it's not an issue. But the thing is with my hand this far back, I'm unable to utilize any of the jimping, and because of the Nylon coated handle, it doesn't have the traction that G10 would have, or micarta, or any other handle material. It's a little slick up here. If the jimping would have continued on if this back spacer would have continued on all the way to the front, that might have resolved that issue. But still, ultimately, when you have a good purchase on here, I'm having an issue with the flipper. This blade, it's pretty centered. It's a little off center because I'm in the process of breaking this in. So I'm going to probably tighten this pivot up a little bit more in the future. Let me see. Right now it deploys perfect. I did have to break it in, put some lube in there, and adjust the pivot. But it works fine for my liking. It should break in really nice. As far as my opinion, I mean, overall appearance of this knife is beautiful. I think it's a really cool design. It's well balanced between the blade shape and the transition into the handle. It's a really good looking knife. The tapering back on the handle scale, as I tell, makes sense. It's nice and smooth up here and nice and grippy up here where you need it. The only thing, like I said, the only issue I have is the flipper. But overall, really cool. The all black looks awesome. Pocket clip. They could have designed a better looking pocket clip, but it's not bad. It's not like atrocious. You can't, you know, there you got a little engraved China logo there, which is, you know, you can take it or leave it, whatever you want to do. But an all black version, this is awesome. I think it looks pretty cool. I just don't, like I said, I could use it no problem, but after prolonged using or real hard use, I mean, this could be a deal breaker for me. But if your hands are smaller than mine, maybe, I don't know, it may work out for you. Smaller hand. It is a pretty decent, it's like your typical size for EDC carry, 7 1/4 inches. The weight's reasonable. You're looking at 4.8 ounces on this, and I've heard people say that that's a little too much. 4 ounces is, you know, my limit, and I'm like, 0.8 ounces is not much. I mean, it's pretty much, I mean, it doesn't bother me. It may bother some. I mean, basically, if you're in an office environment and you're carrying this around, you have thinner pants or something, you'll notice it in there. Maybe the weight will mess with you a little bit. But for me, the weight is no issue with this. I think it's the weight is appropriate for the size of this knife. I mean, you've got a big wide blade. So one of the other things too is this is a manual knife as opposed to being a spring-assisted knife. The bad thing about it, or the good thing about it, is it's spring assisted. You don't have to worry about breaking in. It's going to fly right out. It's going to be awesome. The bad thing about it is that when they go ahead and do the spring assisted, they have a skeletonized, I believe the liners are actually inset to this Nylon handle. So if you're going to do like a custom scale on that, you're going to have to do some milling, and that sucks. For me, this is awesome. The liners are flush with the scales, which means I could pop this off, do a template, and throw a new scale on it if I want to, and just use these scales itself and preserve the finish all the way around. So if you like pimping knives or you know, scale work and all that stuff, this is awesome. You could take this and do, you know, some blue and black, some bumblebee, you know, yellow and black stuff. Red scale would, I mean, with the hardware would pop. I mean, there's a bunch of options to really take this knife and make it better. Now, it's an inexpensive knife, so worth the $10 in G10 in about an hour or so worth of work. Maybe not for some, but for me to make something look really cool, it doesn't matter as far as the price. I'm just all about what it ends up turning out to be. So, really cool knife, broken in nicely. For some, it may not be the ideal knife, just the ergos may be a deal breaker. For me it is, but I don't mind it because, like I said, this package is so inexpensive that you can't go wrong. Plus, you have the free fall, which has a little better ergonomics. So you have one of the bad. You can keep this in your backpack and keep that as your EDC, and you got a cool light. So anyway, my 2 cents on that. We're looking at about 8.5 minutes, or a little bit over 8 minutes there. And I can't really think of anything else to explain. There's no lanyard hole on this, which would have been a nice touch. But if you're crafty, you could probably figure something out. Like I said, I'm planning to probably put new scales on this. If someone doesn't want to buy it from me. I'm sure someone will ask me if I'm going to sell it, but if not, I'll probably end up putting new scales on this and hooking it up. I don't plan on changing the shape. I do like the shape. The only thing I wish is that if the blade wasn't black, then I would have went ahead and modified this flipper so it felt comfortable in my hand. What would have happened there is this would have been arched more and made more of a choil in the front, and it would have felt perfect. I could have got away with it easy. I've already looked at it and thought about it, but I don't want to ruin the black finish of the knife and the blacked out version, or the blacked out theme I'm going to go as far as when I swap the scales out. But like I said, besides that, pretty cool blade shape. Like I said, it's perfectly balanced as far as the overall shape of the handle to the blade shape itself. And not a bad knife for the price. If you were to break it down in pricing, if it's a $20 kit, let's say you spent, it's like, you know, you spend whatever, let's say $7 per knife and then $6 for the flashlight or something like that, if you want to break it down to price. So would you buy this for $6? If I said, hey dude, you want to buy this knife off of me for $6? I'd probably think about 90% of you guys would probably say, yeah, no problem, dude, let me go grab my wallet. So if you think about it that way, then it's a pretty good buy. Alright guys, take it easy. I appreciate you tuning in. If you got any questions or concerns, just post them below, and I'll try to answer them. Take it easy. Peace.